Good morning. Happy Thursday. Don't have a whole lot in the way of news to get into, but we're going to talk a bit about sports betting in just a few minutes. Kamala Harris did have a town hall last night on CNN. I don't really think it did a whole lot. I didn't watch the full thing, but I've seen some clips. It doesn't look like it did a whole lot, but that happened. We're under 2 weeks from Election Day, so pretty much everything that happens from here on is pretty important. Thursday Night Football tonight is Vikings and Rams, so that'll probably be a pretty good game. Hopefully it's not a repeat of last Thursday's snooze fest. And all still pretty quiet on the weather front. So that's pretty much the top stories. Knock that out in under a minute. Getting into our rant for today, has sports betting gone too far? And, I want to talk for just a few minutes. So I live in Kentucky, and sports betting has been legal here for a year and a half now, maybe two years. And I remember when it first became legal, there were all sorts of promotions, and it was like from DraftKings, where it was like, bet $5, get $200 on bonus bets. FanDuel did something similar. Caesars did something similar. Everybody did something similar. And so, of course, me as a young, dumb college student, I took all of those offers, put $5 in, won what I won, and then took the money that I invested out. And since then, I won it. I think my max I've ever been up on is $1,000. Is the max I've had my sports betting accounts at once. So right now I'm setting at about $300, and that numbers went up and that numbers went down. But, it's fun to get on there and just throw a casual bet on something every now and then and just kind of have a good time, There's nothing wrong with that. What I don't like is that whenever I'm watching sports now, or just even whenever on my phone, there's about a million sports betting ads that I see. There's always an ad for FanDuel or DraftKings, whatever. They've got all these celebrities, all these athletes, and it's just like, shut up and show the game. Like, at a certain point, there's going to be more sports betting commercials than there's going to be actual games. And it's kind of sad because that kind of tells you, number one, they're making a shit ton of money. And number two, you kind of start to wonder, where's it all coming from? Because you're thinking, they offer these really lucrative incentives, bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. You're like, how are they making any money off that? But clearly they are, because they have money to make all these big bougie commercials. They're clearly not broke. So you have to start to wonder, is this deceptive marketing? And I think, in a way it is, because you're luring in a lot of younger people to get on your deposit money and end up losing it all. Max I've had is $1,000. Right now I'm down to about $300, which sounds bad, but keep in mind, I invested probably total $20 into the sportsbook apps to get the bonus bets, and I immediately pulled that money out. So $300 is raw profit. So, I consider myself to be doing pretty okay. But a lot of people have gotten on these apps and lost a lot of money. This is America. I'm not saying that sports betting should be fucking illegal, because, you're in America. If you want to get on there and gamble your money on sports, whatever. But I feel like the marketing needs to be contained a little bit. Because you're luring in a lot of people to go on your apps and make very stupid decisions. And also, another thing, these sports books are just very deceptive in their, marketing as well, even when you get on the app. I see all the time, it's like, bet on the NBA tonight for a no-sweat bet. If I'm thinking of a no-sweat bet, I'm thinking if the bet fails, I just get my money back. That's not true. You get a bonus bet, which is not the same thing as just getting your money back. And that is just not... It's not really a no-sweat bet to me. And a lot of times the no-sweat bets, you'll bet $100 and be like, oh, well, it's no sweat. And you read the fine print, it's like no sweat bet guarantees up to a $10 bonus bet back, or FanDuel's like fucking $5. And it's like, well, don't even offer it's not a no sweat bet at that point. Because who the fuck's going to get on there and just be like, oh yeah, $5. So don't even offer it at that point. It's just fucking stupid. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sore loser. Maybe I'm mad. Although I did actually have a $150 bet hit last night. I was getting ready to get on here and be like, yeah, I'm down bad. I've got $150, but I did bet on the NBA last night and actually did pretty well. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it deceptive? Should the government regulate advertising for sports books? Let me know what you guys think. And that'll do it for today. No show tomorrow, so we'll be back on Monday. And next week, we're going to kind of turn the tide a little bit on Monday. We're going into finances, and we're talking about, are we moving towards a cashless society? So that'll be on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.